Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me again for one of my many fascinating, wonderful interviews where I get to bring you people I think are fabulous that have a great message, not just for your dating life, for your relationship life, but for you. Because after all, everything starts with us. And if you're looking at the screen, you might recognize this lady, but let me tell you, if you're watching on YouTube, I know you've seen her. If you're listening to the podcast on the Susan Winter Show, please follow. Make sure that you leave me some commentary because I'd love to hear your feedback. And if you're watching for the first time on YouTube, welcome, subscribe, and click the little bell so that you know when I have an episode coming up. Today, we are talking about self-love through movement. And I have this fabulous, wonderful lady. I know you've seen her. You can't open up a single device without Zarina being right in your face. She's amazing. I have with me Zarina Del Mar, who is a movement specialist, entrepreneur, and a mom who's redefined how we connect with our bodies. Zarina left her career, get this, corporate tax lawyer, no small feat there, to follow a deeper calling, to make sure that she could help others heal and thrive through movement. By the way, she's empowered 2.5 million followers worldwide to build strength, resilience, and self-trust. And that's as of today's recording, because she seems to go up 200,000 every time I check one of her sites. Zarina, honey, welcome. Thank you for joining me on today's show.
Susan, thank you. I have nothing to add. I am a former lawyer. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. And I am a movement practitioner and movement teacher. So I will explain how I got passionate about human body and why I decided to switch my career path, and why I think it's super important for us, for midlife adults, to get back to our bodies. Why it's more important than flat tummy, than super strong glutes. There is something more important, but your physical appearance, your exterior will of course change once you start moving in the way I'm showing. That's shortly what I'm talking about.
Let's start with how you found, I mean, that's a bit of a career transition, okay? So how did you find your way to this, and how did you realize that the movement itself could heal you?
Sure how to help you with
Oh, God. Alexa's talking to me. I am undoing Alexa.
AI world.
I didn't even ask her a question.
And we're not alone.
I know. Alexa, you're going bye-bye. Hang on. Oh, my goodness. Sorry. Okay, hang on. This is real life, folks. So this is what happens. I'm not going to cut this. This is behind the scenes.
Yes.
This is actually what happens here. All right. So please continue.
How I came up with the idea that movement is important in my life, and it can be my career, my job, and my way of life. Just to put it shortly, I am a kind of high performer, type A person, and I was raised like this. You need to work hard. You need to be excellent in everything you're doing. I was born in Kazakhstan, former USSR country, and I was my parents were my example. They moved from Kazakhstan to Russia. They are lawyers also, so they have their own story. And they've been telling me once we moved to Moscow, there were no many Asians living in Moscow like nowadays. And they've been telling me, you need to be better than anyone in your class, because you are the only one with these eyes. And that's why. So I was the A student at school, in university, and then the career in law firms. I think that there are a lot of guys knowing what is a kind of work in any international law firm. So I was working a lot, but at the same time, I was a girl dreaming of slim body. Like from my puberty, I was dreaming to become as small as it's possible. Like I think that for us, for millennials, for boomers generation, it is like every woman is dreaming of extra small or small size.
It's crazy. Yeah,
That's
I was
crazy.
raised with Twinkie, like bodies like mine were in shape, and then one day they just weren't for another
Yeah.
40 years.
Yeah. It's a long story. So I've started to struggle with my body since my puberty, around 13 to 15 years old. I had problems with my body image. I had eating disorders because
Wow.
you're dieting, you're trying to live on 1,000 calories or even less, and you're doing a lot of cardio. With this mindset, I found my husband, my partner. We made a family, and I gave a birth for my first child. And from day one, since I gave a birth, I started working out, like to make my tummy flat and to thinking of what to do. And then I started working in 2 months since I gave a birth, and it was like you're waking up at 5 a.m., you're going to the gym before your office hours, and then it's every day. And frankly speaking, I don't remember my daughter within this, like from her 6 months and further in the mornings, because I was leaving. I made breakfast for the family, and I was out, and I came back in the evening, and she was with Nanny. And this is the whole period, like for what? I realized that it is useful, it is not sustainable. And I've started just searching movement, body mind practices. I don't know why. I'm not a professional athlete. I'm not a physician, but I was Googling these weird phrases, like you're a lawyer and you're just having time at your office and you're Googling something about body. I don't know why and how. Maybe it's like your internal voice. You feel yourself uncomfortable. You feel that you cannot live this lifestyle and you cannot support yourself, and you're starting looking for something. And I found movement practitioners, that there are guys for teaching movement, and it's not yoga, it's not Pilates, it's like the basis. And I realized that I need to understand how I am constructed, how I can move. And then with years, I understood that really I have this freedom. I can move in the way I feel. I don't have strict rules. I don't need to listen to all these experts telling me you need to work out for 1 hour or 1 hour and a half. And after your strength resistance training, you need to run to burn calories, etc., etc. These rules are great if you know nothing about your body. But once you start realizing how beautiful it is, how it's like ideal construction. If there are architects within your audience, they will understand this tensegrity theory. Like we are as the great building, but we are changing on an everyday basis. And that was like revolutionary idea for me, because I'm the person who likes to follow rules, who needs to have this set of rules and like plan and journaling everything. And then I realized that I have this freedom. I can move in any way on everyday basis. This is important to me, and this is important to my students. But you don't have strict rules. It's okay if you go down with your lower back rounded. It's okay if you lift some stuff on everyday basis, like at your home, with rounded lower back. It is okay. We don't live in these anatomically neutral ideal positions. We don't squat like this when we'd like to play with our kids, and we don't make house chore, keeping our spine straight. it helped me. And that's how I decided to share these ideas and spread them.
So in preparation, you gave me some of your snacks. And for those of you who don't know, listen, I know you've seen her. You, like I said, you cannot have turned on a device and not seen Zarina. And she was like, the power's in the legs. I was like watching her squat. Now, my body doesn't do that kind of squat. I can't do the Asian squat. I mean, I've been trying little by little. But what I love is that your stuff, completely unique, completely radically unique. And so, how do I want to say this? It's small and meaningful, movement and flexibility from one who has had multiple operations structurally. I've got metal in here. I've got spinal things. I've got a hip replacement, all this sitting at a desk. I can work 8 hours a day. I can concentrate forever. I've been sitting at a desk. My first desk was in 4th grade, and I've been sitting at a desk working and writing. The worst thing for us to do, and how many of us are at a computer all day long. And I did so I did the stacks number 1, I did the this, and I did all of this. And I mean, it was 3 minutes to get up off the desk and to get blood in my system. It's nothing that somebody can't do. We can do it. And it's just so unique. And I absolutely love that you found your way through your body, through your movement, to help us reconnect with ourselves, because we are so disconnected to our bodies. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
You've started mentioning when we started sitting at the desk.
Oh, good.
Like it's not the same in America as it was in my country. We go to school at the age of 7. But before you go to school, you need to prepare yourself. You need to learn reading, writing. So you start sitting a lot from, let's say, 5 years old.
Oh.
And again, about the education, maybe modern families are less strict, but when I was a kid, it was obligatory. You need to play piano, you need to learn to play chess, and you don't have this fun, free movement time, which is so important for kids during their first years of physical development, of emotional development, of brain development.
Yeah.
For brain development, it is super important to move. And if you look at your kids, when he or she starts walking, they are crawling, they are jumping. Like you've mentioned Asian squat. I really, frankly speaking, I didn't know that these kinds of sports are called Asian sport.
We don't rest like that. You see, I go through Southeast Asia. People are waiting for the bus and they're squatting.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's torture, but for them, it's like, it's relaxing. Yeah.
But if you remember your kids, they are sitting and playing. I have a lot of videos of my son. He's sitting in this deep squat position. Then he goes in shin box position. Then he just jumps from shin box position on his feet. And it is super easy. So let's say from day 1 till 5 years old, within this timeline, you're super mobile, you're super flexible, and you're super strong. But then we start sitting at the desk.
Right.
And this is when I suppose the disconnection starts. It is good in US that there is a lot of sport at schools, especially in middle school and high school, because in order to enter the college, you need to have something like sport background. Kids are playing football, tennis, and it is great, but it's not the same in different countries. We don't have physical activity is not the main point in our list. We are learning a lot, we're sitting a lot, we're reading a lot, but we don't have time for physical activity. And when you're 20 or 25, you start your corporate career, you're working 24/8 and you're sitting and you're super concentrating and concentrated, and no one has ever taught you to listen to your body signals, to change the positions while you're sitting a lot, because your best posture is your posture. And we think that the only way to experience movement is going to the gym, but
Right.
we really don't have time to go to the gym. Like I remember my time being a trainee lawyer. If you're a trainee lawyer, you need to have a lot of clients hours. You need to get your client hours and your projects. That's why you need to come to the office at 7 a.m. and never leave it, because there are a lot of trainee lawyers, but you need your projects and your client hours. So I really believe that at some point of your life, you don't have time for full 1 hour session at the gym or Pilates studio or any other studio, because you need time to get there and to come back. And no one has ever told us you can move just sitting on the chair or using your office table. I like office table. It's the best tool you can use to move your body. You can even do the whole strength training just using your office table. And it is great if you want really, and if you wish to keep this movement in your life, because everyone knows this phrase. If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
With time, you lose your mobility, flexibility, but what is more important, your nervous system starts losing control over your body. That's why when you're 30 or 35, it's difficult for you to repeat the motion. It's so funny when I'm showing the motion and just in real life, and my friend is telling me, oh, it's easy peasy, I will do it. I'm a former gymnast, for example, and she's repeating this motion, but in a very different way. Like she did not notice how my pelvis was turning,
Right.
or the position of my T-spine. And these moments are important. So she is repeating, but in the way she sees, and she cannot pay attention to the certain points because she's not an expert, and she's doing something and it's not the correct way because she doesn't listen to my instructions. Like I'm telling, push your pelvis, put your foot. She's just, I know it, I will do it. So that's the problem. We are all like all or nothing mindset, or we're thinking that physical activity is easy. I can do everything, or the opposite. I cannot do anything because I have this fear of movement. Like in your case, you have surgeries, you have lots of health issues with the body structure, and you can be afraid to move. Like rotations, spiral movements. Many guys having problems with their spine. They are afraid just to rotate. And they are asking whether it's safe.
Oh, so you work with men and women, because I know that a lot
Yeah,
of women follow.
mostly women.
love it. Yeah.
Mostly women, but it is interesting because my Russian speaking audience is like 95% women, and English speaking, I have these 15% of men.
It's important because they're sedentary too. You know, I have a
Yeah.
personal trainer out in Arizona, and he was an Olympian. He was on the cycling team, and he'll give me these things that I'm doing these weird motions, and I feel like I've never moved my body because and I said, what is this? Because he's moving me on an axis. He goes, oh yeah, the ice skaters do this, because he gives me all these different things. And my body, each time I go in, it's like we never do these movements. We do this, we do running, we do this. There are so many movements we don't do, you know, and those little tiny movements that you do, that you show, I know how much they really affect your fluidity and your sense of sovereignty over your body, which gives you the confidence to move about in the world. It's really kind of astounding.
Axis, angles, and dimensions.
Yes.
Of course, professional athletes, they are more movable in a certain way because they have their movement patterns and they have been developing them for many years. And it is modern life. We have our cars. We don't have like everyday movement challenges. Like the most difficult the most difficult challenge, or what you can do, sitting and grabbing something from the floor. Yeah.
Okay.
just this range of motion, but that's it. We don't even need to grab heavy stuff from the floor. So we are limited. Our surrounding limits us. That's why it's important having certain genetic to work on epigenetic, to work on surrounding. If you like living in Moscow, I made at least 15K steps per day, or even 20K. Living here in California, I can barely do 5K or 8K because
And you're exercising.
yeah. Because you're always using your car. So
Yeah,
the solution, you have this point B where you should be at, let's say, 1 p.m. Leave your car like 10 minutes away from this point. So just work on the surrounding and create these movement challenges for yourself. You're not a skater. You're not a tennis player. That's why you don't have this
right.
full range of motions. But you can do very easy stuff, like you mentioned, just pretend that you are this small human of, let's say, 8 months or 11 months, and you're trying to reach, you're trying to grab stuff from everywhere. You're super curious because why kids are developing and how they start walking. It's curiosity. They are wondering. Everything around is like for the first time, and they want to grab
Right.
everything. And that's why, like when my kids were learning to walk, there were different stuff I've put to make them rotate, make them crawl.
So you were doing it then with your kids? You were putting things around them to make them do this?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But that's why when you get hurt, for example, you were trying to grab something and you
Right.
have this
Yeah.
It does not mean that you should never ever try to make this motion. It just means that you had this bad movement pattern and it had been developing for 20, 30 years. And this motion was just the last signal, like, I am off. I cannot do this anymore. But you should come back once you don't feel pain, once you don't have inflammation anymore. You should then try to repeat this motion in this angle and to get used to it. So the movement itself does not hurt. It is just your nervous system and the way you have been moving for the whole life. Like it's your tissues, it's your ligaments and your tendons. It's not the movement itself.
Zarina, let's talk about how you felt a sense of inner power, how your self-esteem improved, and what you are seeing in your clients, how this type of movement, which is so tiny in time to have to do. Tell me how it activates the self-esteem in your impression.
In my case, once I felt this confidence inside my body, once I realized that I can literally talk to myself, because now I understand my feelings, my sensations, and I can be honest to myself. I've been working on a corporate job for like more than 15 years. And I was doing this job. It was quite good, but it was not excellent. And I had this fear, you cannot quit it because you don't have any other profession and you need to earn money and you need to keep this level of lifestyle, of quality of life. But at the same time, I felt that I want to do something else. Like when I was a kid, I was pretending I'm giving an interview. Really?
And here you are.
I was playing that in any game that I'm a president. I don't know why. So it was, and I like to be more socialized. I like to talk to people. I like to meet many different people from different parts of the world. And all this came to my mind only in my, like, I'm now 39, around 33 or 34. And that's why I moved from Moscow to California without having any idea how I'm gonna earn money here. I left everything there. It's really only 4 suitcases, like my kids, my husband, and me. And we moved here in 2022. I think that it's like intuition.
Yeah.
I bought tickets, and it was February 12th, 2022. So my birthday is on February 20th, 2022. So I decided to celebrate myself in Ohio, California. That's why we came here on February 12th. So we celebrated my birthday, and what happened on February 24th, 2022, I know many of your followers know. So the war started. And my
Wow.
husband asked me, why did you choose this date?
Yeah.
Like we usually celebrate my birthday with my parents.
Mhm.
So if it was after the war started, of course we would stay in Moscow. But we moved like a week before everything happened. And I don't know what is it. It is like I just decided. You may say it.
But your husband went with you. You picked up your hubby went, oh, okay, honey, right?
Yeah. And then it's just step by step. I realized that, many social media guys may tell you, you may earn money just not working a lot. All money will come to you once you realize your gift.
Oh, manifestation stuff.
There's
Law
all
of
this
attraction.
bullshit.
Yeah.
But really, once you realize that you have certain gifts, you have certain knowledge, and you are confident in what you're doing, and you have this structure, etc. My background, I made a business out of it. But
It's a huge business.
huge. Yeah, imagine I like I don't have this map, like map of expectations, because like 5 years ago I could not even imagine that this is possible. I didn't believe in social media. I didn't believe that you can make business and it can be the main source of income for your family. But guys, you can. Of course, if you have your business background, in my case, legal background, the business background of my husband, but in general, you can make business out of anything nowadays. Like try to find the path to yourself. And movement was the great instrument and is the great instrument for me, because like it's your soul path. You can find the ways to yourself using a lot of instruments like therapy, meditation, anything. But for me, the best way is to stay connected physically with my body. And
So physically, when you're connected to your body, you feel like you're accessing your inner power to intuitively make more decisions. Like the
Yeah.
unification of everything is where the power lies, correct? Am I understanding you?
This is how our body and mind works. And it is not the magic. It is just, you have these clear paths from your brain
Yeah.
to your body, and it is like happening 24/7. Your brain is gathering information from your body, and this is interaction.
Yeah.
And once the paths are clear, it reflects, it influences the way your brain works. And you start seeing maybe what you have not seen before, or you become more confident, and you feel yourself quite powerful to do what you were dreaming to do for a long time, for example.
How do you see this manifesting in your clients as you watch them through the practice, how they gain self-confidence and self-love through doing these exercises?
Yeah, that's great, because now we are making research I have my research team, and my article will be published in several weeks in the journal Frontier and in many other.
Congratulations.
So thank you. We're asking our subscribers to fill in very big questionnaire,
Yeah.
like containing more than 100 questions, and we are analyzing the progress. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it is so great that I have female audience, primarily 50 plus. It's interesting because Russian speaking audience is like 30 plus. And here it is 50 plus. I
Yeah.
think it's not the distinction in mentality, but it's just what I'm talking about. More like ladies 50 plus are more familiar with it. So what I see, they are writing down. I'm becoming more mobile, more flexible. Like I'm 55. And like you're bringing back hope for them because
Yeah. Exactly.
many of them are telling I was a fan of gym, of bodybuilding,
Right.
but then perimenopause, and I felt pain in my joints, especially shoulder joints, hip joints, and spine. And I quitted the gym. And then what I didn't know what to do. Like I'm gaining weight, I'm feeling myself bad, I feel pain, but I cannot do weight training because I think that is bad for my joints.
Okay.
And that's it. Like, is it the end of my life? Or shall I wait for my second sprint? Will it come, or is just the aging? I'm getting old, and that's it. And they try to move in the way I'm showing it. It is easy for them, for example, or not easy, but they are trying, and they realize that they have hope. They can lose weight, they can become more flexible, more mobile, and more toned, more sculpted, and then they have this passion to do something else in their life. Because when you lose your beauty, for women, I really understand that your physical appearance is so important, and you don't like what you see in the mirror. You start losing yourself. You start losing this confidence, and that's what I see in women and in men also, because they have the same problems. They have their own menopause. They have problem hormonal shift later, but they have it. Testosterone levels drops down, and they are losing. They have this extra belly fat. They don't feel themselves handsome. And I think that I bring back hope that you're not getting older. You're just it's just the natural process. You should not be scared of it, but you should understand that we need to support and protect our body more once we hit this 40 or 45 years old point, and support more, and it will provide feedback. The body will provide the same or even better feedback than we experienced when we were 20 or 18, because we are more mature. We know how it is to listen, how to be kind to yourself. We just need to remember everything. So I think that that's the main achievement of all guys who have experienced, who have practiced 3D in the way I'm showing it.
I think it's interesting that as we age, and certainly for 50 and over, when our bodies start to become more constricted, oftentimes our lives become more constricted and smaller because we don't have the mobility. I know for myself, the rugged trips that I take abroad that are a month long, it's a lot to carry 2 suitcases and go on a month-long trip from one place to the next. And I'm thinking, like, how many years am I going to be able to pull this off? So I think in order to allow ourselves a more expansive life, the very clear path of these movements and the flexibility, and not just stretching and not just going to the gym, but the really articulated positions that you have that we don't do in everyday life. We don't do those things. Can really extend and expand our vision of who we can be as we move into senior years, or if we're a 30-year-old person tied to a desk all day long. Because when the body constricts, we start to constrict and pull inward. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you are starting putting on more limitations.
Yeah.
Well, age,
Right.
you put yourself in a certain prisons.
Yeah.
Uh, and this is like rigid mindset.
Yes. Yes.
How you can open up your own prison through opening up your body. And you're absolutely right that it's not about just stretching. It's not about just I'm so flexible that I can do leg split. It's great you can do leg split, but it's not because I've been learning Rudolf Laban theory of movement.
Well, you studied with them.
Yes, yeah, at Laban and Bartoniev Institute of Movement Studies, and I realized all this stuff is for professional artists, professional dancers, and I realized why for them. Why no one has ever told us that you can move and you express yourself the way you are, just for yourself, just in front of the mirror, and it's not dancing, because many women are scared. I'm not a dancer. I don't have this fluidity. I look awkward. It's okay. Just imagine that you have put yourself, like Rudolf Laban was making his theory. There are different kinds of crystal, like a stone, and there are a lot of edges and
facets. Yeah.
Facets. Yeah, and you're moving within it. Just imagine it in it, and you're moving, and you try to touch with your fingers or with your toes or with any part of your body. That's how you will create this like multi-dimensional movement. You don't need to know the theory. Just imagine that you are trying to move different parts of, let's say, different figure with different parts of your body, your body. That's how you expand your movement capabilities.
I saw that, and I saw the cage that they were in and how they're moving around. But so it's interesting. I want people to know that you have been professionally trained in this very specific modality, but you, I believe, tell me if I'm right, have done your own spin on it. You've expanded it beyond what you've learned. Is that correct?
Maybe not expand, but I realized I need to tell about this to general audience. We are sitting a lot. We are not athletes. We're not dancers. But I can explain it in a very easy way. I can take different movements from different types of activities, like take something from ballet dancers, take something from martial arts artists, and make it easy. I'm trying to make it super easy and super functional. And of course, many poses that I'm presenting are taken from motor development of a human within these first 18th or 24 months. First 24 months. Yeah, because once you start crawling, you come through this shin box position. First of all, you are lying on your back, and you start moving your hands and your legs towards the center, towards the belly button. Then you're starting to spread your arms and legs. Then you're starting to turn on one side, the other side. Then you're starting this shin. So we have like 12 stages of before you start walking, before you come to this vertical position. So when you ask me, like having problems with your spine, whether it's safe or not, I'm telling this is the position of your motor development. You've been in this position when you were a kid. You've been sitting in this shin box position for a long, long time. Just we need to take it and we need to bring it back, because it is inside your body. You're capable of a big range of motions, but you're not practicing it. That's why it became impossible for you. Many women telling me we don't have balance. I cannot stand on one leg. And I'm telling them, but you can walk.
Right.
Each step is standing on one leg, is balancing and moving your weight, shifting your weight forward, or backwards if you're walking backward. So you know how to do it. Your nervous system knows how to do it. But in the context of exercising or workout routine, it for some reason becomes impossible. No, I cannot do it. Or I was not born like this. No, you were born like this. Genetic predispositions play a great role. I need to admit it. Like I was born with this kind of leg structures. Like genetically, I have strong legs, but it does not mean that I'm not working out to keep this strength and to keep this mobility and flexibility. But of course, genetic predisposition is important.
I love the fact that they're short, they're effective, and you're just using your own body weight in a very small space for people that live in a studio apartment or people that want to get, or even the ones that you've got from the desk where
Yeah.
you're doing like this at the desk. So you call them snacks. And I thought it was so cute. In our pre-interview, you were talking about, oh, these silly videos. The silly videos that have gained you 2.5 million subscribers. And again, that's only as of the moment of this recording, because it went up from the first time we started talking back in March. So I just think this is such important information. And for my audience that does dating and relationships, you're probably thinking, why am I going into this? But again, we are the center of everything that we do in business, in relationships, being a mom, being whatever. And the more that we can take care of ourselves and the more that we can apply self-love by taking time to make sure that our bodies are working in harmony with us, it's just better for everybody. I absolutely love this stuff. Zarina, is there anything final that you haven't spoken about that you really want to share? Because I will be telling people how to get a hold of you, and all the links will be at the bottom of this presentation. So is there anything that I haven't covered that you really are dying to tell our audience?
Just trust your body, trust yourself. And I believe that you cannot trust your body because you don't know it.
Oh.
That's how, like you've mentioned, this small movement, this meaningful movement can bring you to yourself, and you will start trust yourself, and maybe it will help you in your relations, because our body language, I think, speaks more loud than we speak, than we present ourselves. So once you get relaxed, once you get confident, you will grab attention of many men and women.
Well, and if you are doing any entertainment in the bedroom, you can certainly be much more flexible and do the things you have in your mind. I mean, but just feeling good about yourself and knowing that you have fluidity. I think you're right. Presentationally, as somebody sees you, you're more fluid. So you look more relaxed. And women or men who are more relaxed are more charismatic, attract more attention. I know I have a girlfriend who said, okay, I'm going to deviate for a moment. A girlfriend who said she has to drink in order to be flirted with. And I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah. So she said, I need to kind of be loose. And so I'm thinking as we're talking, wow, what if your body was already moving like it was loose and you could be stone cold sober? She said that when she's drinking and she's more loose and relaxed, men start to flirt with her because she's more relaxed. And then they meet her for a date and she's like this at dinner. And she said, I'm not. And they're like, you were so different when I met you the other night. And she's like, well, yeah, I was dancing and I was loose. So I think from an attraction standpoint, it's, because everybody wants to date a dancer. First of all, they're gorgeous. And secondarily, you figure they're kind of fluid. This could be fun, right? Yeah, it's a beautiful thing that you're doing. I know you're working on some current projects. Is there any project that you'd like to specifically mention with my audience to hear this?
Right today, when we're talking to you, I've launched my new program, 5 days, 5 minutes. So it's just the development of the program I already have, Movement Snack, is just different way of movement, 5 minutes from Monday till Friday. So if you want to
Fabulous.
try, if you want to understand what my method is about, you may start with this program. And guys, when I hear I don't have time, come on, 5 minutes. 5 minutes is nothing. But you will see great results. Only 5 minutes in the morning or in the evening. But it's really nothing. You're sitting in your toilet like scrolling social media
you're doing
for
this for
10
5
minutes at least.
Exactly.
5 minutes. I don't
I love that.
5 minutes.
So I'll include that link at the bottom here. And Zarina, just in case they haven't seen you, where do they find you?
Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah. And
You're even
Telegram.
on WhatsApp, right?
WhatsApp, Telegram.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
any social media platform you can imagine, I'm there.
it's amazing. And everybody, I will have the link to the 5 days, 5 minutes here included after the show. Zarina, you're a doll. You're an inspiration. You got me moving at my desk. I feel guilty on a day that I don't do it. It's like, really, I don't have 3 minutes. I see you set the timer and like doing all these things. I have all the blinds open when it's nice out. And I know probably my neighbors are looking across the street like this, but you're absolutely wonderful. Thank you for this truly inspired message that you were guided to bring to all of us, because I believe this was a purposeful calling. I mean, I don't need my glasses. I had 15 questions for you. I didn't even look at them, but I think that it's not a coincidence. You suddenly decided to leave Moscow. You suddenly decided to bring your whole family here. You left your career. You embarked upon this new thing. You escaped the war. You came here and you've got this incredible business that is so well organized. I get your emails almost every other day. You've got the free stuff online. I mean, it's just, it's a heck of an enterprise, I got to tell you, for somebody that just arrived here. And it's, I think it's divinely inspired. And I think you're up to big things here that are helping a lot of people. And you're finding that in your research that you're coming up with.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for being a part of my audience and a part of my show. And everybody listening, please give me feedback, write it in the commentary. Make sure that you give us some recognition for Zarina here, and go look up Way We Move and Zarina Del Mar. And I'll have all the links below. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Zarina. You're a doll. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.